usually it's just hereditary peers who are members of the House of Lords that swear allegiance to the new monarch. But this time,
Okay, sorry everyone for taking a little bit of my time. I was trying to download the footage so that I can actually get in here with actual pictures. So sorry for that 5 minutes wasted, but I was actually, working on bringing something up here before I actually voice out. Now, with that being said, I will say welcome all to this new edition of the coronation we are going to be talking about. Now, I have been seeing a lot of people arguing about this swan, people going to be swearing an allegiance to the King of England and the coronation that is coming up. I'm going to say this because I feel like as a leader or as a crown monarch, I don't feel like the people should be. That is one thing that comes in my mind. People should be swearing an allegiance to anyone. Instead, I feel like people in power, the ones that are ruling, should be the ones swearing an allegiance and swearing an oath to the people they are governing over. Now, with that being said, I am not a pro monarchy. I'm not even gonna go there. I feel like monarchy is something that is something that was for ages ago, and I definitely think it should die out. And democracy, I feel I am pro election. I am pro. I want to elect somebody that is gonna, make the decisions for me. And I absolutely understand why the UK residents or its people, some of them are outspeaking, they're outspoken about this particular topic, especially about the sworn of an allegiance to the king. By the way, he's been king since his mother passed. Now, with that being said, I feel in my heart of hearts somehow that they have to make it post it in the newspaper and put it out there and be like, yeah, you know what, we will expect people to be chanting and shouting and swearing their allegiance to the new monarchy. And I feel like it is outdated. That is my own thought. Like the monarchy is outdated. Let people choose who they want to lead. And I do understand the fear of losing the monarchy. It's kind of like withholding power or holding power that some people don't want to let go. And I don't feel like, you are born uh, into you are born into the throne, you're born into ruling. It's kind of outdated. Like, oh, okay, I was born into this family, now I'm this, I'm king, I'm all of this. I'm more pro election, I'm more pro people to elect who they want to be their leaders. And I'm going to be bringing up some videos because this is one thing that has been keeping me long before I came in. As you can see, it took me at least around 5 minutes to actually, bring up everything up in here so that I can show it to you guys and actually discuss about it. My personal opinion, it is outdated. The monarchy is outdated. But apart from that, the swearing and allegiance thing, it kind of creeps me out. It does creep me out because I'm like, why would you expect anyone to do that? It's giving me outdated. I'm the king. It's giving me, I want to go back to the old days. That is how I perceive it. I perceive it as, oh yeah, come swear that I'm your Lord and King, and I'm like, no, I'm not into that. It's just kind of weird. It's a weird vibe, and many English folks have actually come out, and many of them they feel like, and if you guys remember, Queen Elizabeth actually was the one who actually was an oath, and she swore allegiance to the people, and assuring them that she's gonna be doing right by them and she is gonna be a worthy queen for England. Now, with that being said, in Chelsea's case, it's more of the people being invited to come and chant, and I'm like, Have you not seen enough booing on the road? Like this is not gonna help that much, because there's still gonna be people out there that is not gonna be for the monarchy, that actually thinks it's outdated. And I feel like it is gonna be more like a division. That is my thought. Like it's gonna divide people. Those people that like buying everything, royalty, and people that actually don't care, and also people that just want to with go along with your life, move on with your life, and never care. And also, it's gonna create a divide, a big rift. That is exactly what I think. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna bring up some videos out there, and I'm gonna show you guys, what some people thoughts are, even people on the street, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on that as well before we summon all of this up. So let's get into it.
Everyone's been invited. Will you swear allegiance to King Charles next weekend? As part of King Charles III's coronation ceremony, people will be asked to cry out and swear allegiance to him from wherever they're watching. It's the first time this has happened. Usually it's just hereditary peers who are members of the House of Lords that swear allegiance to the new monarch. But this time, everyone's been invited to get involved. The order of service will read, "All who so desire in the Abbey and elsewhere say together, I swear to pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God." So, will you?
Say this message to the king out loud.
Well, like you heard before, it is normally the House of Lords that would do that. So I am a little bit surprised that now is everybody got to do it. You're invited to do it. So that is what I mean. It's kind of giving me, I got power, now I need more. That is what it's giving me, because that is my own personal opinion. So we're going to continue with the video.
I swear that I will.
Whereas his mother made a really big thing of pledging herself to the service of the country and her subjects. Bit of a shame, really. He could have remade the monarchy for the modern age and pledged himself to his subjects or to us. But no. Shut the coronation.
This weekend, Charles Windsor will be crowned king. This is not the same as him becoming king. He became king the moment his mother died back last autumn. No, this is a £250 million ego massage for him, paid by the taxpayer. For a man who's a billionaire in his own right, just from his private income, and who paid absolutely no inheritance tax on the hundreds of millions of pounds of assets that he inherited last year. This is a man who gave the Duke of Edinburgh title to his brother Edward as a birthday present. This weekend, Charles will ride in a golden carriage through London to sit on a golden throne in order to have a golden crown placed on his head that is so weighed down with jewels that he can't hold it there for more than about half an hour. As he sits there, he will ask the entire country to, quote, cry out and declare their allegiance to him.
Now, this is where I find it weird, because I'm like, you already got all of this going and all of the wealth and power already. But if you notice, there is a lot of crisis going on in the UK. People are not getting paid well. Nurses are going in, many people were going on strike. It was not even long ago. A lot of people are having financial problems, and this lavish coronation is being thrown by the taxpayers. For someone who has a lot of money, by the way, he's got a lot of money. He could have done that for himself, but you know what? No, the taxpayers have to fund it. And I feel like to the poor, it's like, I don't care about you. To the people that are not getting enough money, it's like, it's giving me, I don't care about you. This is all about me, and you do whatever you want to do. I want a lavish, coronation. But hey, that is what is happening. So let's just get on with it.
Demanding this from his golden throne of people who are struggling with a cost of living crisis. He will say it's an excellent time for them to donate to charity as they struggle to pay to heat their homes or put a roof over their heads. Why worry about whether your subjects can even feed their families as you're doted upon by various lords and knights and their sceptres? In a ludicrous, archaic ceremony that should have been resigned to the history books decades ago. Recent surveys show that half the British people couldn't care less about the coronation or actively oppose it, and that rises to 75% of Scots. But despite that, Charles expects you to declare your loyalty to him, as he seizes a title he has done absolutely nothing to earn.
Now, that is exactly what I was saying. You're born into this. Well, not everybody is born into royalty. That is exactly. And I feel like that's why I'm pro-election. I'm pro-select the person that you want to actually lead. That's why I'm pro-democracy, for people to be given the right to choose whomever they want as, presidents, governors, senators, all of that bad. But when it comes to you being born into it, I'm like, a lot of people were born into royalty that it does not exist today, till this day. And like I said before, I'm not a pro monarchy. I'm not somebody that is pro that. I'm more of a person that is. I really don't see it as important. I feel like it's just some people being born into. And if you watch, how did they become king? Like, how was the first king? How it was all. If you look at the history, it is absolutely something that you would mostly really not support.
He will hold without any democratic mandate and with no way to hold him to account. But still, on Saturday he will demand your loyalty. I'm the convener of the Our Republic campaign, which is the Republican campaign for Scotland.
Okay, we're going to pass through that, and then we're going to go to the next one.
Charles to be the last one to claim to be.
So the king wants people to swear allegiance to him personally. And I think this is a lot scarier than people realise. This is a deliberate strategy to isolate the monarchists who are going to make this pledge from the rest of society. Right now, most people are ambivalent towards the monarchy. They just don't care. Yeah, there are people like me who see monarchy as a representation of all the things that are wrong with our deeply unequal society. And there are some people who like collecting porcelain knickknacks and hating foreigners. But most people just don't care. This means that a growing number of people are at least open to be convinced that the monarchy is no longer the system that we need in this country and we need to move to a true democracy. And this terrifies the king and the establishment that's built up around the monarchy, because they know that once public support shifts away from the monarchy, then there's a real risk that they might actually be held accountable for all of the crimes against humanity that they've committed.
And there it is.
And to your heirs and successors,
And there
according to law.
sorry. And there it is, because he actually spilled out what I was thinking. Because if it's not there, history is not going to be remembering many of the things as great anymore. It's literally going to shine more lights on it. But this is the thing. When you're someone that I've always been told you're going to be, ruling over people for a long time, you kind of do want to hold that very, very tight. And I feel like that is why this coronation is going to be, there's going to definitely be a divide between the people when it comes to this. So let me see.
The monarchy. They just don't care. Yeah, there are people like me who see monarchy as a representation of all the things that are wrong with our deeply unequal society.
Hold on.
For all of the crimes that they've committed. So they know that if they can trick people into giving allegiance on the coronation, maybe because they're feeling a bit jolly and having a few drinks with the family, next thing you know, they've sold their soul to the lizard people. Because once you've got someone to personally pledge their allegiance to the monarchy and its perpetuation for generations to come, they are now personally identified with that system. And what you're doing is
True.
essentially weaponizing people's own goodwill against them. People like to keep their word. People don't like to break their promises. So once you have made someone promise that they will always support the monarchy, even if previously they were kind of ambivalent, well, now they've pledged. There's no way out. And so what this will do is subtly, it will divide people between those who said, no, I'm all right. It's a bit fucking weird, if you ask me. And those people who made the pledge, who will be a minority, who will feel that they're a minority. At least in the minds of these monarchists, they're going to start to see that they're the only people who are truly loyal to this country. They're the only people who are legitimate systems, and everyone else is a traitor. And what this is going to do is, in the eyes of monarchists, it's going to further dehumanize the people who they oppose.
And this is the thing that I was talking about, because I'm gonna say a lot of people on TikTok, if you want to see many of these videos, they're on TikTok. A lot of people speaking their mind, and on Twitter too, because I'm gonna bring the Twitter feed after I'm done with all of this, because it's a little bit of a long video, because I want you guys to see what the people in the Great Britain are talking about and what is going on over there in the UK. And I do feel a little bit sympathy, because there are a lot of issues that have been unresolved, um, especially when it comes to hardworking taxpayers, because a lot of people are working in collecting minimum wage. The wage is the money they are getting for working monthly is not enough. A lot of people do not have money to heat their house. Even food is expensive nowadays, and we are having this lavish party over here. I'm not trying to be a hater, I'm just saying my mind. They're throwing this lavish party while a lot of people were on strike. A lot of people couldn't afford heating their homes, and then you are still turning around and looking at these people and asking them to come and pledge an allegiance to you. Like, yeah, a lot of people are going to be upset. A lot of people are going to be really in their feelings. A lot of people are not going to want to do that. And a lot of people are going to speak out. And I've seen a lot and tons of video on TikTok of people saying they are not pledging anything. That they are not pledging anything. So we're gonna go back, because if you guys remember, Prince Harry is still going to court with the media, and a lot of things have been exposed over there about Williams taking money from the media, and later on they came out and say Harry waited too long for this case and it should be shut down, which Harry has a lot of point for coming out, because all he asked for was an apology. You know how they say Harry and Meghan are money hungry all the time. Well, I don't really think that is what is happening. I think it is mostly projection. But let's continue.
This is a deliberate strategy, because that's what fascism does. It divides people, it creates scapegoats, it creates a sense of shared identity that is in opposition to that other, and then it weaponizes fear and hatred to ultimately legitimize.
I think yes, they did really love Diana. I think the people of England absolutely adored her, and her passing actually wounded a lot of people. Her passing actually, many of the people have not forgotten Diana. A lot of people are angry, mostly because of Diana's passing and the way she passed, and the fact that Meghan and Harry, instead of them using that opportunity to actually iron out the hurt that the people are feeling, and use that opportunity to make it better for themselves, they turned around and just make a whole nonsense out of that, and all of a sudden they were looking for somebody to hate. So Meghan was the right choice to be hated on, and I'm like, instead of you using their opportunity, now even Megan said that, you know, they had this letter, even the time that some of the news feeds were talking about, oh, there was a letter that Megan wrote to at the time he was Prince, to Prince Charles at that time. And it was about racism. And later on, Megan had to bring out, her publicist actually put out a statement and said, I didn't write it. I replied to a letter he sent me. So I'm like, this is how all of it is looking like a mess. It's looking like a mess. It's just getting messier and messier as the day goes. Now, with this pledging of allegiance, I feel like, well, I am definitely going to be tuning in to watch the coronation because I want to see how that goes down.
Seizing political power in the interest of that minority and against the majority. There are people across this country who are going to be frothing at the mouth that this pledge shouldn't be optional and it should be mandatory. And if you're not willing to make it, then you should get out of this country altogether. And all this really does is show that the monarchy is a useful tool for the advancement of the agenda of British fascism.
You are joking. You are joking. This is absolutely insane. It's not medieval times. It's not North bloody Korea. They want you subjugated. They want you like sheep. They want you bow down. Bow down to your king. In the middle of a cost of living crisis, people are suffering. And they want you to pay for it, but they want you to swear an oath of allegiance to the king. I say no, not now, not never, not ever. I'm not chanting for him. Hasten to join chant for Charles. Swear allegiance to the king. Are you what the who and what King Solomon? I'll promise to serve you in my castle in Balmoral, Sandringham, Kensington, Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle. That's why he's got such big ears, because he's got castles coming out of him. Millions watching to pledge allegiance to sausage fingers.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
You'll have to tie me down to a chair. And guess what? The price of the coronation has gone up. It's now not 100 million, it's 250 million pounds. We got nurses on strike, nurses eating from bins. We got Nana in an appy. We got child poverty. Look, 250 million. And look, children. We got 4. You just feel like crying. They're putting, he's not my king. They're putting electricity meters in. Bailiffs steaming through people's houses. And look, they got a homeless poster there next to where you can go and get a pit in a soup. Look, in a mall. You can go and get your picture with it on the throne next to the homeless. We can't even afford eggs. If you can find any on the shelf. And look, they just keep... I give up. I give up. Royalty is the biggest fraud ever. Ever. Royalty is the master fraud. That's what it is. These pictures here, they're like all from the same Photoshop. They released their their wedding anniversary. Look at them on bikes. But there's Kate and the kids in the same clothes on the same day. But that was back in Mother's Day. That was back in March. I'm back for Christmas. Same day, same photo shoot. The hell's that all about? Anyway.
Well, like you've seen, a lot of British people are really not onto it. There were tons of videos on TikTok. You couldn't miss it. It's literally going viral out there. People speaking up and actually calling it out, saying, you know what? A lot of people are not being paid enough, and we are throwing all of this money for coronation. And with that being said, they added the fact that I imagine paying tax, and then instead of the government using the tax money for making sure that everybody has enough, paying the nurses, the civil workers, instead they're throwing a lavish, coronation party. Wow. Yeah, I understand why the British people, many of them that are not Indies, are pretty upset, because imagine if you work a 5 to 9 job, and don't forget at the end of the day you still got to pay tax, and many of these individuals, they do not pay tax. I don't think the king pays tax. Even the time he inherited everything from his late mom, he didn't pay property tax. So how is that fair to the common people? That is what I'm thinking. How is it fair? And then with all this unfairness, you gotta add salt to the injury and tell them to come pledge an allegiance to you, an oath to you. It is literally ludicrous to me. That's how I feel. I feel like it's unnecessary. Then you just pour salt in the wound. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be upset. So we're gonna continue.
Would you be swearing allegiance to King Charles?
No, definitely not. I won't be watching the coronation. I'm very glad to have an extra public holiday next Monday, but I have no interest in it. I know it's voluntary, which I guess they can't force people, but I think it is outrageous in the 21st century to ask people to swear allegiance to an unelected billionaire.
King Charles' coronation on Saturday, public being asked to swear allegiance to him. Would you do it yourself?
I think it's absolutely a load of rubbish. I do. But the history of the royal family impacting the people of Scotland so much with things like the Highland clearance, and it's just a utter joke, really. It kind of feels quite backhanded. Usually it's the lords and the royals that get to do this chant, and now they're saying, oh, just let the public do it this time. I think it's a load of rubbish.
I just think that's quite weird. And yeah, just strange.
Would you swear allegiance?
No,
Why?
absolutely not. I just don't think the royal family are very relevant nowadays. Yeah, I don't really believe in the monarchy, and yeah, I think they should die with the Queen, really.
If people want to swear allegiance, I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. And on the other hand, if people weren't, then I support that as well. Just whatever you feel like doing, if I'm honest.
Are you going to swear?
So if you notice, a lot of people are having a problem with, going over there and swearing their allegiance. And I absolutely do understand. But my point is, Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen, actually was the one who swore an oath to the people. And now it's vice versa. It's giving me ego. This coronation is mostly giving me ego and pride, and it's not giving what it's supposed to be giving. And I feel like if your mother did it the other way, why aren't you following her steps? Because at the end of the day, if he would just do what his mother did, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be so hard about this particular word. But there is a lot of things that are hurting people nowadays. And a lot of people are not earning a lot. They're not earning enough even. So many people really don't care. Now, I'm going to continue this because this is going to be the end before I bring up what people have been saying in Twitter.
Swear allegiance?
Probably not, no. No, I don't feel a strong connection to the royal family, so I feel like I really have to.
Would you personally do it?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I believe in, it's the only thing I believe in, is the royal family.
You think the only thing?
Yeah, I don't believe in the government.
And why is it the only thing you believe in, if I ask?
Well, they've never let me down.
And do you yourself share the same belief?
Nope.
up!
Okay, now I'm gonna be bringing to you guys what people have been saying on Twitter. That was just a little bit of a joke that I added on the place because I saw someone on TikTok put that over there. I was like, "Yep, that's exactly the feelings that is giving me." So here is what people on Twitter has been tweeting about, what they have been talking about, and a lot of people are saying a lot. I mean, it doesn't look good. It absolutely does not look good. I would expect that some people would be happy, but I guess paying tax is not going to make everybody happy. And a lot of people are in financial debt right now. Some people cannot even afford homes. And yeah, I cannot do get where all of this reaction is coming from. I cannot actually understand where the people from the United Kingdom are coming from with all of this. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Please let me know what you think about this particular issue that is going on because on Saturday, yeah, we're gonna be seeing the coronation. I don't know, maybe I might watch it later, but on that particular day, live, I'm probably gonna be taking a nap like everybody else. I'm probably gonna be taking a nap, sleeping. Yes, maybe I might watch it after 3 weeks later because nope, not me. Now, with that being said, I want you guys to let me know what you think uh in the comment section, like and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.